Good morning. Oh, it's a lot of boobs. Sorry. Sorry. How am I not going? I just fed the chickens and got Sean a pain pill and let the dogs out to pee. I'm telling you, for it to be 7:40, but that didn't work. To be 7:40 in the morning, I've already got 3 things done. No need for that much cleavage before noon. Hellur. Good morning. This has been a hell of a week. Today is Thursday. I was just thinking about this. In the last 7 days, I've planted 120 tomato plants. I'm raising 60 chickens, 4 turkeys. I got a puppy. I have a dog already. My fiance had a horrific motorcycle wreck, which glory to God, and thank you for your prayers. All he has is a separated shoulder that they don't even have to do surgery on. I don't even know how to start thanking God for that. Then I played a show Friday, played a show Saturday, got married Sunday, took a nap on Monday, worked my ass off on Tuesday, and spent yesterday at the orthopedic surgeon. Amen. I'm telling you, this has been a hell of 196 hours. I blame the cicadas. I'm on the phone. So anyway, not to keep beating a dead horse, but thank you guys again for just your overwhelming support and love. It has been amazing to be on the receiving end of it. So thank you. Thank you for praying for us. Thank you for loving on us. Thank you for sending us wedding gifts and recovery presents. And y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. You kept the lights on for us during this, so thank you. I was thinking today, anybody else raised on 90s TLC? And I'm not talking about waterfalls. I'm talking about Trading Spaces and Ty Pennington and Christopher Lowell and Gildy. Was anybody else like raised, not Gildy, Hildy. Anybody else raised by Trading Spaces? Anybody else raised by budget decorating? Got to watching some of them back episodes last night on the YouTube, and I was like, the hell were we thinking? The hell were we thinking? Did anybody else's mother take stock in rainbow vacuum cleaners, Tupperware Longenberger baskets, Beanie Babies, and Amway? Was your entire house decorated in home interior stuff? Did you have more Longenberger baskets than you could ever gather flowers and eggs in? I'm telling you, there's something that happened in the 90s. It's like women started doing it for themselves, and we started working, and we got parasuits and pantyhose, and then they were like, we can decorate. And I'm like, oh, no, you can't, though. Oh, God. And now today's yard sales are just the graveyard of 90s bad decorating choices. I mean, you see these big leafy gold brassy things that you hang on the wall that sometimes have candelabras attached. And what's up with all the birds made of brass? There's a lot of owls and geese and a peacock. And why? Why did we all have a picture of a goose and a heart? Why did we all have the picture of the little farmhouse out in the middle of the pasture? Why did we all have that? Why do we all have the 10-point buck looking through the corn? Like, why did we have that? Why did everybody have that picture? Why were we so fascinated with country apple and the things that smell and look like it? I mean, Jesus. It's like all of our senses left us. The 60s were wild. The 60s were wild. We started coloring our toilets and our sinks. There was like avocado and powder pink and sunshine yellow. And then you got into the 70s and it was like, oh, and now we're going to add shag carpet to it, which is basically like having a big shaggy dog on your floor all the time. And I'm like, I don't know what happened. And in the 80s, we all went to paneling. We went to paneling and upholstery. Oh, heavenly day did we go to paneling and upholstery and wallpaper and chair rails. Oh, the chair rails. I'm telling you, things went weird. Like wicker was big. We had a lot of ferns. And then the 90s came along, and all of a sudden, we had a television channel completely devoted to the bad decorating choices of others. Do you remember that one episode of Trading Spaces where they made that one woman's house look like a damn barnyard and they glued hay to the wall? And then they come in and she said, I'm going to need a minute. And she was like, do you love your new living room? And she's like, I'm going to have to leave the room. And she just breaks down. And I was like, yes, girl, yes, that was reality TV at its finest. You couldn't see that kind of reaction unless you were on Maury or Jerry. I'm telling you, the 90s were wild. If you weren't there, you don't know. Jody Orr always told us, if you don't remember the 60s, then you were there. Like, if you remember the 60s, you weren't actually there. He always used to say. And I'm like, you don't even know about the 90s. The 90s, we had AOL. We had dial-up. We got TGIF and Nickelodeon. We got the Disney Channel. I'm telling you, shit was wild in the 90s. We got Barney. Who in their right mind was sitting at a marketing meeting and went, you know what would teach morals to children? Probably a 6-foot dinosaur. And let's make it purple. What? 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 What was Barney even? A two-sockosaurus? Every single episode he did a cartwheel and I saw his white Nike socks. I was like, who is this? Why can't y'all get him purple socks? Ugh. The 90s were wild. The 90s were wild. Michael Jackson was still black. He still had a nose. Prince was just some kind of symbol. Madonna was wearing lingerie on top of her clothes. Wild. That shit was wild in the 90s. Country music, everybody kind of took stock in Wrangler jeans and pearl snap shirts. I mean, every single shirt you saw looked like they might be recruiting you to the Church of the Latter-day Saints. Tracy Lawrence's entire wardrobe was just bowling shirts and Mormon attire. I'm telling you. He did have a fierce mustache that made you think he might be on the volunteer fire department, though. Lamb Chop Dale, let's talk about this for a second. Fucking Lamb Chop dude. Okay, Sherry Lewis might be the smartest puppeteer that ever lived because I'm pretty sure she's still alive, and that ain't even her hand. It's just a puppet. I think they surgically attached it to her hand. I'm telling you, Lamb Chop was some wild shit in the 90s. I even had a Lamb Chop doll. I can't even get into it. Do you remember the song? This is a song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. You're singing it right now. Sing it with me. Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because it says a song that doesn't end. It just kept going forever and ever and ever. And it was that and the I love you, you love me. Oh, my God. 90s were wild, man. The 90s were fucking wild. We had Pogs. Do you remember Pogs? Do you remember the little tiny cardboard cutouts that cost us a fortune and they were going to be collectors and you stacked them all up and you flicked a coin at them and then you got to keep all the Pogs? Who invented that? That was the pre-Pokemon and it was dumb as hell. And did I have some? Hell yes, I did. I had so many I had a container this big that looked like an itty-bitty, tiny, skinny, tall thing of Pringles. Dumb. Who else invented this whole idea that we could collect toys to pay for our college and our retirement? How many Barbies did you have in a box? How many Beanie Babies with the damn tag still on its ear did you still have? I mean, come on. Who stood in line at the McDonald's drive-thru waiting for the new toy? Because they were going to be collector's items. Are they? Are they? Because I have all of the California raisins and not one person has asked to see them on the Antiques Roadshow. I'm just saying. Speaking of the California raisins, what a marketing ploy that was. We can't get kids to eat fruit. Let's dry it out, make it sing rock and roll, and put it on this claymation Christmas special. Did that increase the sale of California raisins at all, or did it just give all of us a complex about our fruit singing jazz? I don't know. My favorite Christmas special of all time was the California Raisins Christmas special. And if you saw it, oh my goodness, it was magic on TV. It's claymation. They made all that shit out of clay. You remember that? Go YouTube that. California Raisins Christmas Special. It's amazing. The music is fantastic. 90s were wild. That might have been the late 80s, but we were fixing to cross over. It's when Michael Jackson was on the Pepsi commercial and he caught his hair on fire and everything was crazy. God, I'm telling you. Do you not remember this? It was nuts. And in the 2000s, we all thought we was going to die at Y2K, and we kept saving stuff up and waiting for the banks to crash and the power to go out and the nuclear bomb go off. And nothing happened. Backstreet Boys went on a terrible tour. That's about it. and sink broke up. I mean, it was like, nobody cared. Like, it was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And then it was like midnight, 2000, and Dick Clark's like, we're still here. And then life just went on. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. And we had a big fight with the class of 2000, because I'm a class of 2001, that we were actually the first class of the new millennium. And they were like, no, we are. And I was like, you can't start on 0, you have to start on 1. And they're like, no, we have a 2 in front of us. And I'm like, but yourselves. So they were the last class of the 20th century. We were the first class of the 21st century. And I don't think that anybody ever talked about it again after that one big fight at the ball game. I do owe Melissa Rogers an apology for that. So if she happens to be watching this morning, I did not mean to call you that. And now I don't give a damn if we were the first class of the 21st century. Nobody gives a shit. No one has asked one time to see my high school diploma or my college transcripts at any job interview. Not one. Not one person has asked me why I went to Transylvania or why I have degrees or why I... No one. Not one. Not one job. Not one job. Not one job. Not even when I was in a real job that required me to clock in and have a pension and a salary. And they were like, you went to college? That's cool. I'm like, do you want to see proof? They're like, no, we believe you. And I'm like, I could have said I went to Yale. Because you know where that's at. Transy's a better school, but you ain't never fucking heard of it. So anyway, it's whatever. Now I was thinking about that this morning. The 90s were wild, man. Just wild as shit. Anybody else remember Christopher Lowell? Remember Christopher Lowell would do budget decorating, and he's like, if you have some plastic fruit laying around, get you a sewing needle and some fishing line, and we're going to make a room divider. I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking? What? Don't do that. I thought I had some harebrained schemes with my decorating, but after watching Christopher Lowell, I'm like, you know, this makes a lot of sense now why I am the way that I am. I was raised by 90s TLC. I was convinced that I would find a gorgeous man, and I did, that could build stuff, and I did. And then I could redecorate my entire house and yard on a budget, and I have. But it didn't turn out like any of them episodes. Who glues hay to a wall? Do you remember the time that they put sand in somebody's basement? And I'm like, is this in Florida or perhaps Louisiana? And this was after a hurricane. Don't do that. That just looks like a giant litter box in your basement. Dumb as hell. So anyway, I was just thinking about that stuff, and I got on the backlog of 90s episodes of TLC last night, and I was like, I'm in a rabbit hole here, and I can't get out. Oh, that shit was wild. The 90s were wild. And the 2000s weren't any better. Only then we had internet, so we could start documenting it, and everybody started kind of watching their P's and Q's a little bit, because you could be ruined quicker than on the Enquirer. So everybody was like, no, I better not do that. Might end up in a chat room or on MSN or on AOL or whatever. So just keep on doing your thing. But then we got into like 04, 05, and AOL really took off. And then we had AIM. You remember that? AIM, the AOL Instant Messenger, and you got to invent your own little name. I talked to people in college that I would have never talked to in real life because they were online. And I thought at that moment, something's up, because I'm actually talking to this guy that I have 3 classes with, and I don't think I've ever shook his hand, but we talk every single day on AOL. That should have been a warning sign. I brought home an online boyfriend my freshman year of college that I met on MSN, and he was a CW4 from Fort Rucker, Alabama, and drove through the night to come spend New Year's with me, and my mom like to have had a stroke. Truthfully, I could have ended up on an episode of Dateline, but he was a sheriff's son from Adairsville, Georgia, and he turned out to be an okay dude, even though he never did ask me out again. We did keep in touch through college, but he was in the military. I always had a thing for a guy in uniform. I don't know, it's because I knew that they had a paycheck, or it's because they could lift shit and kill stuff if I needed them to, you know? But I think it's because I was raised by a very strong military family, and I was just like, I'm used to order, and I'm used to being there 15 minutes early unless mom's driving. So, it's just, if it ain't broke, you know? And then as soon as I got divorced 3 years ago now, I was like, I'm never going to deal with the military again. I'm never dating another soldier. This is bullshit. Can't deal with it. I don't want to be an army wife. And I'll be damned to go to hell if I didn't meet somebody that was in the military for 13 years. And he's absolutely heaven on earth. And he's a walking miracle. But you know, you don't even have to have surgery. If you don't believe in God, I tell you, we're going to have to start living at the foot of the cross, because there's no reason on earth why that man should be alive, let alone walking and talking and doing things. Like, no reason whatsoever. Every doctor we've talked to is like, why are you here? Like, we've seen your bike, we've seen the crash site. Like, there's no reason on earth why you should be here. And the only thing that we can come up with is that God had his hand over top of him. That's it. There's no reason why Sean should still be alive today. So I figure God ain't done with the shit. Maybe I'm supposed to keep telling funny stories and writing songs, and he's supposed to go with me. So, you know, at least now he's got street cred as a drummer. I mean, Def Leppard, Cactus Mosier, Sean Courtney. It's weird. I was also thinking about this the other day. Have you ever seen them Himalayan salt mines? Have you ever, like, looked that up? Have you ever YouTubed that, Googled it, National Geographic it? That's another thing. We'll get to that in a second. Why are we making things nouns? Like, nouns are verbs now? Like, okay, let me explain. Somebody said the other day, I'll Facebook you. I'm like, that's an app. And you just turned it into a verb. Or they'll say, I'll Cash App you, or I'll PayPal you, or I'll Venmo you, or I'll Google you. I'm like, those are nouns, and you're making them verbs. Freaks me out. Y'all are worried about pronouns. Learn your other parts of speech first. Anyway, so Himalayan salt mines. If you've ever, like, researched this and you've looked at it, don't it look like a big old slab of pork ribs? Doesn't it? You ever see these formations in the rock? You ever see these formations, like these big, huge, like Devil's Tower? Like, that looks kind of like a tree stump. But that tree would have to been, like, forever tall, touching the sky. And I thought, well, maybe it was. We had more oxygen back then. Everybody knows you had oxygen to something, it'll grow like hell. But listen, I just don't understand the Himalayan salt mines. When they cut it up, it looks like slabs of meat. And that just gives me to prove that maybe geology is just hardened biology. I mean, you know, petrified trees and then turning into rocks and, you know, whatever. Is geology just hardened biology? I don't know. Just thinking about it. If after the flood that did kill these giants that we knew roamed the earth, because it's biblically and historically accurate and we have found their skeletons and proof of their existence. You can call them whatever you want to, but they were giants. You know, David killed one with a slingshot. Like, this is biblically proven. What if all of them drowned in that flood? What if, you know, once you pack something in salt and something, you know, you put in Tupperware that'll keep, you know. So I keep thinking about that. I'm like, what if we were actually just seasoning our stuff with the remains of giants? Things I think about. Like in the Great Flood, did that include the Behemoth and the Leviathan and the Loch Ness Monster because they could swim? And was a T-Rex actually a T-Rex, or did you put that skeleton together wrong and it's actually just a big giant chicken and it probably had feathers the size of a Volvo? Like, I'm just looking at it going, did y'all get all this wrong? Like, did y'all just kind of wing it for 200 years and then go, this is it, it's fact. We've established that this is fact. And now we're all, like, capable of learning. We're all becoming a little more enlightened. We're all learning things every day that we didn't know before. And we're like, something don't math here. Kind of feel like I'm on the Truman Show and I want to know why. Or is that just me? These are things that I think about. And I'm like the other day, that time glitch at the friggin' Home Depot, and I saw those same people twice, and I was like, what? And I've watched that sitting here. I've watched the same car go by my driveway like 3 times. I'm like, huh? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I'm just wondering if there's, like, I kind of think that maybe time ain't on the line, that it's on the wheel. And every now and again, it lines up like those 3D viewfinders that we had as kids, you know, that you could see stuff. And every now and again, you'd get one that was kind of off kilter and you could see 2 things at once. And it would kind of, you'd have to get it back in line. What if that's what's happening on these little parts where we're having glitches? What if the wheels just kind of link up for a second and we just kind of see a pass through? I don't know, just things I think about. But the 90s were wild. That was my main focus today, is talking about how TLC kind of ruined my decorating sense for my entire life. I grew up somewhere between Onling and the Good Silver and Hildy and gluing straw to a wall. I don't know, but it does explain why I redecorate instead of clean. Sean's like, why don't you clean the kitchen? And I'm like, okay, I'll just change the cupboards out. And I just reorganize, I rearrange, I redecorate, but I don't really clean. And I blame 90s TLC for it. I blame Christopher Lloyd entirely for it because he's like, why put them dirty dishes in the dishwasher when you can make a great wall of china in your garden? And I'm like, that's a great idea, Christopher Lloyd, and I'll have to buy new plates. So off to the antique store we go. You see what I'm saying? Shit's weird. But no, I really blame my decorating sense on watching Trading Spaces as a child. Whew. I got to get our wedding cake out of the fridge and put it in one of them little fun, you know, those dishes that they're square and they're on a pedestal and they look like a candy dish and they got a lid on them. They're on antique stores all the time and you can probably find them at a yard sale. Well, I found one at an auction forever ago. And we've been keeping them Ghirardelli squares in them at Christmas time because it fits them perfect. And then I found out what that thing's really for. You're supposed to put your piece of wedding cake in it and put the lid on it and put it in the freezer. And then on your first anniversary, you take it out and you eat your wedding cake. It's a wedding cake holder. It's a wedding present. And it's been sitting in our stuff since me and Sean met. I think I bought it the first week we were dating. And I didn't know what it was. So I've got carrot cake in there in the fridge and some Tupperware from my wedding on Sunday. And I think I need to go ahead and put it in that little dish and put it in the freezer lest it ruin. But I will tell you that's pretty good carrot cake to be from Kroger on a Sunday morning. I make the best carrot cake in the whole wide world, and I'll go toe-to-toe with anybody who tries to dispute me on that. But I do make the best carrot cake in the world, and this was a pretty close second. I don't know. If I'd had a chance to go up to the Appalachian Kitchen in Snowshoe, West Virginia, and order one of those, I would have, because that's the best carrot cake I've had to this day, and I've tried to copycat it twice. Mine's close, but mine's got more cream cheese, and theirs has more nuts. Just depends on what your preference is. But anyway, if anybody needs some music this weekend, Sean and I find ourselves without a gig Friday or Saturday because I didn't know what the situation would be with the surgery, but now that he didn't have to have it, he's willing to do sound. So if you want some music or you're having a Memorial Day whatnot get together, holler at us. We'll come play for you. Because we got nowhere to be till Wednesday of next week. And we're going to the Tennessee Freedom Rally in Silver Point, Tennessee. So if you haven't got your passes for that, get them now. It's going to be awesome. I'm pretty excited about it. I get to MC it and sing. I know. We're not taking the bike, obviously, but we are going to rally with the folks that ride theirs. So, is that thunder? No. You never know. If the weather's clear and you can hear all the way down the creek, you know, it sounds, sometimes you can hear the garbage truck, sometimes you can hear the school bus, sometimes you can hear thunder. It just depends. You get stuck between these hollers and you kind of figure out where things are coming from because it just kind of ricochets. I'm telling you, West Virginia is a different creature than Kentucky is. I lived on top of a hill my entire life. I grew up on the top of Sand Hill. So there was nothing higher than us. Like there was no mountains around us. Like you come down the hill to see the mountains. And here, hell, we're down here by the creek. So, you know, kind of goes with that, that song I wrote, Bottom of the Holler. Anyway. Good morning. So I just wanted to call and say hello. That's what I usually say to my mother. I'm going to smoke this last cigarette with you, and then I'm going to get in there and take a shower and do laundry. Oh, you're asking a whole lot of this road by pulling that size trailer. It's just a little tiny skinny road, and there's potholes in it because we're out of city limits. So, you know, I'm fixing to go out there and take a couple rose bushes and some dirt and just put it in that big pothole and see how long it takes the city to go, oh shit, we probably should fix that. I hear Tom T. Hall whining this morning. Hang on, let's get the puppy. Everybody wants some puppy love this morning. Today is the 22nd of May. Yes. Come on, Tom. Hi, baby. You could hear my voice, couldn't you? You gotta sit here. We can't quit. Oh, you just little devil. I'm telling you, having a puppy is like having a newborn that has razor teeth and eats Indian food all the time. You bet got your ass on fire. You hit my cigarette. I know. So Tom T is feeling it this morning. Can you just get up here and lay down? Lay down. He's wearing me out. No, we're not playing in the fire pit this morning. So he was doing this morning instead of pottying. Who's rooting around the fire pit. Hello, Hunter. Thank you. It's been a wild week. But I am married now. Ta-da. And I tell you what, for me to pick out a wedding band at the last minute, it sure went perfect with my engagement ring. Would you quit? Little grunter. He went swimming in the bathtub last night, and now he smells like body wash. We'll get down in a second, but there's no need for you to go out there and chase chickens. There's not. There's not. There's really not. Quit. Oh, gosh, Hunter, I'm so sorry. Complications from a colonoscopy. That's terrible. My dad woke up in the middle of his. He was like, what's that? The doctor's like, that is your butthole. He's like, and you're awake. He had to put him back down. Say hi, Tom. So, we thought that this was a black lab. But then I get to looking at this telltale patch of white. And this telltale patch of white. And then we did a little talking to our buddies that raise dogs. We think this might be a Pyrenees mix. He's going to be huge. I know. You're going to be too big for me to hold. So, look how big his paws are. I mean, he's going to be a monster. Like, look at them. You're so big. I don't know. So I can only hold him for a couple more weeks, and he's going to be like 40 pounds. Like, right now, he's weighing in at 18, and he's 9 weeks old. Like, he's a monster. You're Big Tom. Yeah. Here, quit. 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 Can you just lay for a second and be good? Get your little foot going. Get your little foot going. He just grunts. But anyway, so, good morning. Tom's telling me that he wants to go chase chickens, and then I gotta fix Daddy's breakfast. Yes. But, did you see on my Facebook my adorable stepchildren? Oh my God, I cannot wait to see them. Emma and Caden, they're the prettiest little things. I'll take credit for being their stepmom. They're so stinking cute. Cannot wait to spoil them rotten. And they're at the best age. I don't have to wipe nothing. This puppy's the only thing that I have to pick up after right now. There's something to be said about having stepchildren that are already up and talking and walking, and you don't have to wipe up after. So, this is it. Vicky, you're right. A Pyrenees will help guard my flock. So I'm trying to get him used to the turkeys, because right now they're the same size. Thanks for sending me some stars. That's awesome. Appreciate you. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I don't know. So, we appreciate you all. We appreciate the wedding gifts that we've got on Venmo and Cash App and PayPal. Thank you. It was really nice. I know Sarah Beth then went and got children. I was telling my mother, I said, I get to be an evil queen, a wicked stepmother, and a fairy godmother this year. All my Disney dreams are coming true. Because not only do I have 2 adorable new stepchildren, yes, but also I get to be a godmother, which is really awesome. So I'll have like a bonus son. So I'm loving it. It's weird how life can change in a weekend. I know. Quit it. Quit. 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 Oh, God, you're like having a pet razor blade. So, I love you guys so much. I mean that. Thank you all for hanging out with us. If you need music this weekend for Memorial Day, holler at us, because Sean's on the mend, and they said to keep on trucking, so that's what we're going to do. Just get back to it. So, anywho, in the meantime, I'm going to go out here and stake my tomatoes and try to quit. Tie these beans up and let this dog chase some chickens. But do everything today you can with kindness and be nice to others, including animals and old people and children. And I love you, and you can't do anything about that. I know, you've tried, but I still love you anyway. And as always, friends, I'm Sarah Beth Terry Courtney, and you're not. Bye.